Well, hello everybody and welcome back after a long break. We are here at Portimao. The Algarve here, the Autodromo, witnesses the return of the Euroformula Open Championship this season. And off the back of last season's campaign where Noel Leone would go on to take the title, now featuring in Formula 3 alongside many other drivers that have won this title, including the likes of Oliver Goethe, the Great Dane, who went on to become its champion in 2022. Over the years, we've seen many names come in and out of the Euroformula Open Championship, many of them as well occupying places in Formula 1, including our most winningest driver of all time with 15 wins overall, Felipe Drugovich, managing to pull that feat off. Now a reserve driver at Aston Martin, as well as other drivers on the grid. Yuki Tsunoda, you've got to factor in, also a former driver here at this series. But we're back once again, and we're here to go racing. The Algarve Autodromo bearing witness to the first round of the Euroformula Open Championship. Round one about to get underway. First and foremost, though, is qualifying. Your commentators this season, George Morgan, alongside me, as always, it's Chris Stevens. Chris, we're all set.
We certainly are. Another season of this wonderful Spieth-powered Dallara 320 chassis, which is still one of the best cars in junior single-seater racing to date, owing to its nice lightweight nature, only 575 kilograms, lovely 2-litre, 4-cylinder, 240 brake horsepower engine, lovely bit of downforce, good Dallara chassis, makes for a wonderful drive and also a good racing environment as well. As we see the cars out on wet tyres. Of course, we have had a fair bit of rain so far throughout the running. This is the driest the circuit has been all weekend.
So I did out, we went lower on the pressures, it was too high, out and didn't feel great, but the times were boom, 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 and then the second, I pushed the second lap, and the first sector was already half a second off, so I tried to cool down. But then
that is Timo Rumpcar, Motorpark team boss, I think, talking about his qualifying session that he's just done to Rubens Barrichello, along with Kai Dagenhart.
And Rubens Barrichello's son featuring here this season with Motopark. Of course, that being Fernando Barrichello in the very striking blue and yellow livery, almost bringing back memories of Renault back in 2006 and 2005 as well. So great to see those colours back in full force in single-seater racing as they now make their way down through towards the final sector here at the Algarve. 16 minutes to go, and already we've seen the times light up. Jakob Bergmeister, the rookie champion from last season, immediately at the top, and 17.7 clear of Brad Benavides in second. Francesco Simonazio, welcome return for BVM. Giuseppe Mazzotti is going to be watching on, hopefully, for good results for BVM, the sole contender for BVM at this campaign. Lorenzo Fluscher as well, an interesting name that has come across from LMP3 racing, where he has been so LMP2, sorry, where he's been so successful on the run-up in the initial. Prior to that, has of course competed in Formula Regional action as well to boot. Levente Ravesh returning after some sporadic appearances last campaign, coming in towards the very end of last season, and now looking to commit to a full season's running this campaign as well. Brad Benavides now takes the top time. Lorenzo Fluscher very much taking it away from him though. Nearly 7 tenths clear, just over 6 tenths fastest. Faster than Brad Benavides, who is now demoted to second. Brad Benavides, of course, someone who is experienced and has competed in the realms of Formula 2, Formula 3, on pretty much all the single-seater feeder series leading up towards Formula 1. But back here, nonetheless, great to see him here in the Euroformula Open Championship, and second fastest currently on our timing tower as we witness Levente Ravesh making his way around the third sector here now. Tour event coming up after this, and Lorenzo Fluscher already finding a personal best and a purple first sector immediately as well. But Brad Benavides also looking to launch a charge in his own right, a 35.368 in that first sector as well. As we now see Fluscher as well 6 tenths up as it stands. The Spaniard now making his way out through towards the Samson corner, now back over the crest, where he'll then venture through towards the very tricky left and blind right-hander as well, and then in towards the very trepidatious final sector where you do reach the top of the hill, climb 1.2 seconds up already in the second sector. No surprise to see the cars improving in every moment, because we do, of course, have the sunlight coming down, beaming down across this circuit. Every minute, this track is drying up.
Yeah, so Lorenzo Fluxer here, coming to the end of a lap. And yeah, curious move, as you mentioned, George. He's just taken his first LMP2 win with Cool Racing at the ELMS season finale in Barcelona a few weeks ago, but convinced to test the car by Diego Menchaca from Motorpark's GT3 team, also competing here this weekend in the GT Open, to test the car in Valencia. And, well, he absolutely loved it. So he wanted to give it a go. Currently third fastest. Now, I'll be interested to see if these guys, or if anybody, feels the need to go for slicks at the end of this session. They are still on the rain tyres there, as we can see. Looks there, the number 7.
See a dry line.
There is definitely a line forming, isn't there? But on the fastest part of the circuit, it'll depend on the rest of it, really, won't it? We'll see Benavides and Simonazzi making their way down towards turn 5. Benavides not on a flying lap, though, and Simonazzi not going to be improving on this one either, by the looks of it.
These are conditions that Francesco Simonazzi loves, though. If you remember from last season, so active on the steering last campaign, and we witnessed that. Just loves getting up close and personal with everything around him, and so active, as I said, on the wheel. Fernando Barrichello, 6th fastest right now, also looking to make personal improvements. He's green in the first 2 sectors, 36.3 in Sector 1, 34.9 in Sector 2. And Simonazzi improving as well, heading through the second sector in his own right, 34.5. And he's managed to enlist onto the board. But still Brad Benavides up at the front end right now. And going through testing and free practice, Benavides certainly looks strong this season.
It certainly does. So Simonazzi here, coming around the final corner. It's a 3rd full season for him, having joined the Euroformula Open at the end of the 2021 season, doing this alongside his studies in the UK as well. So it's a very busy year for the young Italian. And he does improve in the end to go 2nd fastest, but still only just within 9/10 of a second of Brad Benavides, our pole sitter. Brad Benavides, of course, coming back home, really. This is where he made his single-seater debut back in 2018 at the finale in Barcelona. Before that, he was competing in the World Supercar Champions Cup. And then, of course, since then has raced all the way up to the Formula 2 level. And now back in the Euroformula Open as well. FIFO Barrichello, as he's nicknamed, the 41 machine. Nice colourful car that's easy for us to spot, unlike the usual black and red motorpark cars that we tend to see in the Euroformula Open.
Definite shades of Renault there, I think.
Joining us from Formula 4 Brazil, and finished 5th in the championship there last year. And Simonazzi here setting a fastest first sector as Barrichello continues to improve his times as well. Simonazzi still up on Benavides' time in the middle sector. It's a personal best, but we'll keep an eye on that on the timing screen as we watch Barrichello come through to the end of this lap. It's a wonderful noise that Spice engine makes. So Lorenzo Fluxer is on a good lap here as well. Personal best in the first sector, only a 10th of a second away from Benavides' time. So car's coming across the line now. This is Simonazzi. Now he is potentially on a lap here that could dethrone Benavides as Barrichello goes 2nd fastest, and Simonazzi does go to the top of the times by just under a 1/4 of a second, 1:51.780. Simonazzi was fastest in the wet session that they had yesterday, but that was a 1:46.693, so we're probably still a little away from slick tyre running just yet. So Lorenzo Fluxer now comes over the line, the young Spaniard, and
goes fastest.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Final 2 sectors were purple, so he managed to hook it up through Sector 2 with a 34.1 and a 41.6 in Sector 3. So the Spaniard Looking illustrious there indeed. There's Simonazzi, who, as I said, a lot of wheel play historically, where we've watched Simonazzi out and about in this championship, but with the Spies-powered BVM car looking well and truly back at home here in the Euroformula Open Championship, as we're now witnessing the climb from Brad Benavides up the hill through towards turn 6 at Samsung. A livery also that we have seen witnessed in the International GT Open, driven by the likes of former Euroformula drivers Diego Menchaca and Marcos Seber in that campaign. And now we get to see it here in Euroformula competition. Same livery as we saw Charlie Wirtz donning last season as well. Jakob Bergmeister with personal improvements in the first and second sector. Of course, rookie champion last campaign. Will be looking to try and take it one step further as he bids to become an overall champion this time around. But he's got some stern competition to go up against, including the likes of Benavides, who we're currently watching on screen as well. Panning across, we move across to Bergmeister. It's the young German now hurtles through towards the final couple of bends here at Portimao. Down the hill, and the roller coaster certainly lighting up. See little bits of spray starting to flick over the rear tyres as he looks to try and find the drying line, and in fact comes straight into the pits. Maybe even they'll attempt the slick tyres, Chris.
Maybe. They are looking for the water now, aren't they, to try and cool down those wet tyres. So maybe we're getting close to it being ready for slick tyres.
Benavides is in as well.
That would make things very interesting for the final 7 minutes of this session, wouldn't it? So let's see. Are they below our commentary position again, or are they a bit further down? No, they're much further down.
Much further down.
Yeah. Well out of sight, aren't they? So we'll do our best to keep an eye on who's on what tyres. Let's see what's going on here. Wet tyres are coming off.
Looks like it could be.
That's another set of wets.
Dreams crushed.
I mean, it's a smart move, really. It's the safest move, that's for sure.
Simonazzi purple, though, in the first sector at 34.508, so on a faster run. Let's see if he can carry that through for the rest of the lap. But Bergmeister, who we're currently witnessing getting his tyres changed. So now we also see Fernando Barrichello currently sat 4th fastest, part of the rookie field. Also personal improvements in the first sector with a 35.3, and it's just gone purple actually in sector 2 with a 34.079. So a good showing here from Barrichello. Simonazzi though also running very strong. In fact, it's also got the purple middle sector. It's a very fine margin between Simonazzi and Barrichello as our timing screen lights up yet again. Levente Ravesh has just stolen the first sector purple time as well. So it's all starting to happen with 6 minutes or so to go. We witness now Fernando Barrichello down the hill, heading through towards the final couple of corners, through Galp corner, and now down towards the long straight. Francesco Simonazzi will not be too far behind, but Barrichello coming straight into the pits, no doubt for also one final tyre change, as now Simonazzi looks to complete his laps. But will he ascend to the top? The Italian does go to the top with a 1:49.731, slightly more requisite of what we've seen in free practice, but still not close enough yet.
New tyres definitely doing the job, aren't they? A lot more grip out there. And Simonazzi back to the top of the times. Of course, he was faced with a few options at the end of last year, wasn't he? He does that classic kicking out the back end at turn 3. About what his future was going to be. Was exploring options in the GT Open to do another season of Euroformula, or whether he needed to try and concentrate on his studies, as Levente Ravesh now goes to the top of the standings, purple in all 3 sectors. Now that's a pretty big job done there by the Hungarian, 19 years old, of course joined us midway through last year, now competing in the full season as FIFO gets words of wisdom from his old man.
Yeah, of course, very experienced Rubens Barrichello, teammates with Michael Schumacher during the Ferrari dominant days in Formula One through the late 90s into the early 2000s. Well, of course, Barrichello's time would come in the 2000s after Eddie Irvine would depart from Ferrari and join Jaguar, as we now watch Lorenzo Flusha make his way up the hill and through towards the middle sector. There is Fernando Barrichello now. Fresh set of boots on the car, as you can see. Still very much done in the wet weather tyres, but heading through towards turn 1. Nonetheless, we've seen improvements across the grid already, so still a great chance for Fernando here.
Yep. See Gets on, take the, well, no, it was a wipe of the visor rather than taking a tear off, wasn't it? Just clear some of the water off there. Ooh. So, but he's lost it on the cold tyres, puts it in the grass for good measure. That's a slightly clumsy moment up to the hill at turn 4. Of course, that's a difficult corner at the best of times, really, isn't it? But out on wet tyres, surprised we don't see it more often, really. But, yep, he's on his way again. No harm, no foul. Although he will have probably mucked up those tyres with a bit of dirt and grass. But by the time he gets out onto his actual push lap, he'll be just fine. But you see, just absolutely lit up the rear tyres when he turned into the left-hander at turn 4.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake heading up through that section. We've seen it now in both GT Cup Open Europe, first thing this morning, as well as the International GT Open. Drivers have made that error coming up through turn 4. It's very easy to do as we now pan across to the garage. There is Rubens Barrichello now watching on. There is Francesco Simonazzi also getting a fresh set of boots put onto the car as he looks to get set for one final run, heading through the final stage to qualifying. 3 minutes to go.
So that previous lap there must have been on an old set of boots then, I'd have thought.
He hadn't come in, I don't think.
No, okay, interesting. I could have sworn he'd come in, but now he's on a fresh set of boots. That's interesting. Yeah, so there's more pace to come. Yeah,
fresh rubber, and obviously set his previous fastest lap on that set of tyres. Of course, we did witness other cars coming into the pits, including Fernando Barrichello and Brad Benavides. Jakob Bergmeister also came in as well. They have since changed tyres. Here comes Brad Benavides now. Currently sat 4th fastest with a 151.616, looking to break into the 149s as he heads up towards the line now, and he'll commence yet another lap this time. Actually went purple in that final sector, so there is pace here on hand. Levente Ravesh has found it, 42 thousandths up in that first sector based off his already set fastest time of the 148.912. Track Evolution really stepping up. Bergmeister's just gone purple in sector 2 as well with a 33.0 after setting a 34.5 in the first sector, a personal best. And Levente Ravesh has just taken, of course, that purple first sector and has a personal improvement in sector 2 as well. So it's all starting to align here as Bergmeister goes fastest with a 148.410, takes the top time from Levente Ravesh, but all eyes on the Hungarian sensation as he goes purple in the first 2 sectors, looking to try and ignite something here to break down Bergmeister, who took his P1 away in these closing stages of qualifying. He's going to head down Galp corner and try and hook this one up. Lost a little bit of time in the second sector, 33.2, not quite as quick as Bergmeister, but a final sector purple would be ideal as he comes up towards the line, does go fastest, a blistering final sector that launched purple, granted him a purple lap, a 147.770, places the Hungarian on top.
6/10 clear of Bergmeister and 1.6 clear of Fluxer, who's just done a personal best as well. So yeah, great lap there by the Hungarian. He's continuing to push, just less than a minute on the clock now. Let's see if Bergmeister can retaliate to that one. Yeah, you can definitely see why they've still gone out there on the wet tyres. You're just sort of driving around, and then suddenly there's a huge pool of water in the middle of the racetrack, which if you're on slick tyres, you probably wouldn't survive on. So easy to see why they've stayed out there. Bergmeister, he was fastest in the first sector, but this middle sector's really gone away from him, and he's sliding the car around us. Fifo Barrichello has gone onto the front row of the grid while we've been watching the young German here. So it's Ravesh from Barrichello, from Bergmeister, from Benavides, from Fluxer, and Simonazzi as it stands. But of course, Simonazzi had that fresh set of boots on, and I think he was on his first flying lap now and gone fastest in the first sector as well. So this could be a last gasp effort from Simonazzi as the checkered flag is out. No improvement from Bergmeister. He will start no higher than 3rd. Yeah, Simonazzi faster in the first sector. Ravesh, personal best in the middle sector. First sector wasn't amazing though, so let's see if he can improve. I wonder if Bergmeister knows if he actually met the checkered flag there, because it was quite late in the day, wasn't it? Fluxer over the line, he didn't improve either, so he'll start no higher than 5th. This is Levente Ravesh coming across the line, and he doesn't improve either. It's a 48.4.
Simonazzi purple in the first sector though, and in personal improvement as well in the second sector, so this is looking good. Also though, alluding to Fernando Barrichello, purple in that second sector as things stand as well, so he's actually found a little bit of time. Still, though, in the realms of personal improvement, Simonazzi, though, will be looking to try and displace Levente Ravesh off the top. Big chance here for the BVM Racing team to spear the motor park conglomerate that exists throughout this grid. Here comes Simonazzi to upset the balance of the order. The Italian, can he? Yes, he can! Pole here, provisional pole for Francesco Simonazzi, but all eyes now on Fernando Barrichello, who has still got 1 sector to go.
Well, that was unbelievable from Simonazzi, 9/10 of a second clear of Levente Ravesh. But yes, Barrichello over the line. It's only second fastest, just under half a second away. So it is Francesco Simonazzi on pole position.
Yeah, shaking his fist. He is absolutely delighted with that. The very passionate Italian is on pole. And it's BVM Racing Team who start the season at the top. A 1:46.833 puts him on pole. Fernando Barrichello in second for Team Motor Park. Levente Ravesh in third. Jakob Bergmeister in fourth. Brad Benavides fifth. Lorenzo Flusha down in sixth. And those are our runners from this morning.
Yes, no Chen Yuhan this weekend, hoping to make his debut in Hockenheim. And Paolo Brajnik, unfortunately, not being able to get out there. I wonder if there's problems for him, but meantime, Francesco Simonazzi, and everyone's saying he's the real threat for this year, just based on the experience he has of this championship now, compared to everybody who's, Jakob Bergmeister and Levente Ravesh obviously with us last season, but yeah, Simonazzi's been pretty. I don't even want to say dark horse, because he is a real title contender, and a serious one at that as well, and he's just proved it.
He is the Italian stallion, Francesco Simonazzi, back again. Was hoping for greater results last campaign. Maybe this is his season. He's got a great chance to do so. What a feat it would be to call this young man a champion. And I'm sure he'll be putting everything out on the table in many ways against all odds as well, because there's only one BVM car in the field throughout the course of this campaign. He flies the flag for that team and for Giuseppe Mazzotti as well, the team boss, who I'm sure is also just as thrilled as he is to see his colours up at the front. But a blistering 1:46.833, just under half a second quicker than Fernando Barrichello, who will start on the front row second as well. Levente Ravesh, impressive as well in places, did hold provisional pole for quite some time. And great to see Jakob Bergmeister getting into the fight as well. I'm sure Brad Benavides will be looking to reassess before heading out. Lorenzo Flusha, do not count him out when we go racing later on. I'm expecting it to get quite busy through the course of the session later on when we do go racing for the first time in the 2024 season. But as it stands, it's Simonazzi who is on pole.
That'll be Lorenzo Flusha on reverse grid pole as well for the third race of the weekend. Of course, we have 2 top 6 reverse grid races. The first one will be based on the race 1 result, but the third one will be based on this qualifying result. So it'll be Flusha on pole position for race 3 tomorrow. Simonazzi on pole for race 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, Francesco Simonazzi taking the wheel out, and he'll hop out of the top of the halo and out of the cockpit, and no doubt is going to celebrate this one. And it will feel to a little bit of a degree a race win in itself, but I'm sure he'll be looking for greater grandeur and a little, well, I say a little tap. I'm sure there's a nice big fist bang there on the front of the car, but brilliant to see. And this young Italian sensation has really been absolutely stellar and a true fighter in this series.
Looking around like, where's my team?
Almost shades of Carlos Sainz earlier on this campaign.
Oh, no, that's harsh.
Surely not, Chris.
No. The standard weigh-in procedure there as well. It's so much calmer down there than I thought it would be. Hopefully Alfredo's down there with the microphone, hunting him down. There you go. There's the
BVM
celebrations.
Thrilled, absolutely delighted, and that's a huge result for them. Yeah, thrilled with that. Francesco Simonazzi, what a way to start your season. Looking ahead to racing this afternoon. It's now the victory comes next. Needs to try and bring it home across the checkered flag line in order to stand tall on the top step of the podium, but they have got a small matter of a number of laps to encounter before they can even reach that. But well done, Francesco Simonazzi, who takes pole position here at the Algarve. much to the delight of his team as well, as he looks to just converse with the members of the BVM squad.
I was hoping to have a nose in, but they're talking Italian. Of course they are. Ah, the traditional hand heart. I've missed that.
I have too. Let's take you through the top three. Levente Ravesh will start on the second row, third in this timing screen, or certainly third in this timing tower. I'm sure he'll be fighting in the race. Fernando Barrichello, welcome to the championship as well, with Rubens, his father, watching on as well. Front row of the grid, second place for Team Barrichello. And then on pole position, no one could stop the Italian stallion. It's Francesco Simonazzi who takes it here at the Algarve, and he will be standing by with Alfredo Filipponi.
He's coming up here. Okay. I was just about to text